Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. It is Wednesday, which means it's time for another lucky dip. Hold on, I'm letting my little, there we go. I got my stream manager thing that I'm figuring out. I got it up, yay. So I can see all the stuff on one screen. Anyway, so a lucky dip, for anyone who doesn't know, is where you take some randomly chosen items and then make something with it. So for me, I have years and years of art snack supplies and other blind box supplies and art gifts, like random art supplies that I've received as gifts from people. And they're not my usual tools, so I put them all in a spreadsheet so that they would get a chance to get used. And then I use random.org to pick 4 numbers that correspond to these items on the spreadsheet, and then I try to make something with them. So the 4 things I got this time are, so let's see, number 60 was my first thing, and that's this Cretacolor red graphite pencil in hardness 3B. Let's see if this will want to focus, camera. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so 3B, and then this is very interesting. The 3B is a very soft, it's not the softest, but it's a pretty soft and therefore dark graphite hardness. And then the next thing I got was number 6 on my list, and you can tell how old it is because it's really, all the letters have started to wear off, and this used to be much, much brighter here. And I used this and this one in my drawing classes a lot when I was in school the last few years, so it's like working on the 2nd year since I graduated now. And then it's interesting because this is a 3H, so it's the opposite hardness level. It's H stands for hard, so it's a harder lead, which means a lighter line. So that's cool that we got two opposing and therefore well-matched graphite pencils. The next thing that I drew was number 98 on my spreadsheet, and it's just the classic, for me anyway, Sakura brand Jelly Roll gel pen in white. My spreadsheet didn't actually define what size it was, so I picked the one that I have the most of, which is this medium size. I have 3 of these. So like, let's use this one up. Then the final thing I drew, number 199, was actually 2 items because they came together in the, I believe it was an Art Snacks box. And it's these, let me get the camera to focus up there. Sometimes it's right on it, and other times I have to press the button forever. Okay, so it's these Lyra brand Colored Giant. So let me hold it next to a regular size pencil. So these are like, I don't know, half again as big. They're pretty big. So they're just really big colored pencils, big thick colored pencils. So that's nice because you can get a lot of color down a lot more faster with less effort. And it came with a yellow color and a purple color. And hopefully I might not need it with these, but I hope if I do need a sharpener that I have one that will fit these. Otherwise I'll get an X-Acto knife out and just trim it like that. So because I got this white gel pen, I wanted to use colored paper. And then since I also had 2 colors, I thought that this blue from this beautiful rainbow sketchbook, rainbow colored paper sketchbook, I feel like these would probably look nice on the blue. Both yellow would look blue and stand out, hopefully, and then purple would look good, or yellow would look blue? No, yellow would look good on the blue, and then the purple will look good on the blue. And I was worried about the yellow being able to stand out because, like, here's yellow paper, so it's not gonna, and then green, it still might not stand out, so that's why I went with blue. And then, of course, the graphite's going to show up just fine. So what I draw for these lucky dips, for anyone who hasn't watched any of my previous recordings or joined me for previous streams, is just one of these poses. I've been going through it for several months now, and I am getting close to it, I think. Ooh, I wonder if this is the one I'm on. Yep. There's lots of... It's got a Kuwabara sense from Yu Yu Hakusho. And that guy was my favorite character. Looks a lot like him, but it also just looks like a typical punk. But this is the pose that we're on. Number 20. Dang. I believe there's only 24. Yep. So we're really close to done. I'm gonna clip the book open while I've got it here. But before I actually look at the pose too much, I want to do some little test swatches of the items that we're going to use. And I'm going to do the same thing as last time that I used this, where I put it on this side, but then I actually draw on this side. Wonder if yeah. No, because it's hard. Because I'm left-handed, so I don't want to have to put my hand on these hard rings. So I'm going to test them this way, and then I'm going to flip it this way so that I can draw it without my hand being on the hard rings. So maybe I will actually... well, I'll leave this. I'll leave it. I was thinking I might at least flip this over, but... Okay. So, let's get started. Well, I guess I'll do them in order. So I accidentally wrote the wrong thing. So the first thing was actually the Tombow Mono, the H3. So the one that's more bold. No, the H3. I wrote H3, but it's 3H. 3H. Anyway, this is the softer one. So first I'll just fill in a swatch. It fills in nice and evenly once you get enough on there. And then if it's a line, that's what it looks like. And then the next thing was the Cretacolor one, which is not as sharp as I would like. So I'm going to get a sharpener. This is my favorite type of sharpener for graphite pencils. It's the Kum Automatic Long Point, and it has two sections. First you do section 1, or sharpener 1. It's actually got a 1 on here. And that does the main bit of sharpening so that it comes out like this. And then, because it's kind of blunt, you don't have to, but you can put it into sharpener 2, and then it will make the point nice and, as the name of the tool suggests, sharp. There, now it's like super nice and long and sharp. That's why it's called the long point. Okay. Oh wait, I always forget, but I want to write down what this was. So this was the Tombow Mono. Mono 3H. There. Now here's this one. Yeah, you can instantly see the difference, and then as I keep covering it, it's getting much darker. This is 3B, which is what this is. Bold. B stands for bold, and it's a softer lead, which is why it's bold. It's so soft it easily comes off and makes a really dark mark. And so if we just do a line, even the line you can tell the difference. So this is Cretacolor 3B, 3 bold. Okay, so next thing I drew was the Jelly Roll gel pen. I know how this works. I use it all the time, especially on my Chibi Friday chibis. So I'm just gonna try some different stuff to show it off. Some dots, some lines close together. How about some swirls? It's just some hatching. Okay. Sakura. This actually doesn't show up as much on the blue paper as I expected, but we're gonna go with it. So, Sakura Jelly Roll. This one's called Medium, M-E-D, which they switched away from. That's how old this is. Now it's, medium is called 08. So they size it more like other type of pens. Okay, so now the true test. Whether this was a good color selection for the paper. These color giants. So I'll do the same thing as with the graphite pencils. First, let's do a, oh yeah. The yellow was the one I was most worried about, but it shows up great. And it's a very interesting combo with this blue paper. And then, oh, I gotta turn my secondary screen over here a little bit. It was kind of hard to see in case anybody joins the chat. So the coverage seems a little bit uneven, but once you really keep layering it, then it evens out. Okay, Lyra Color Giants. Cool, very easy. Which has been happening to me a lot recently, but very easy stuff for me to use this time. It's nothing I'm not familiar with. Colored pencil, yes. Graphite, yes. And of course that Sakura gel pen I use more than any of these, because with graphite I don't usually do a drawing of graphite anymore now that I'm done with school. Okay, there's like some little crumbs here and it's bothering me. There we go. The colored pencils, I used to do pictures that were all colored pencil, but now I do more like colored pencil is on top of marker to help blend it together and to add more variety of color or texture or whatever. So it's like an addition rather than its own thing that I work with, but it's still something that I work with all the time. Okay, so, and it's actually kind of nice. This is all like dry media, basically. I mean, this is a little bit wet until it dries, but it's so nice to be able to like put this down and not worry about it getting wet. So, that's a weird relief feeling. Let's look at this pose. Pose number 20 is called Knuckle Sandwich. I move this clip. I put it too high up. I'm covering up my little notes here that they provide. Okay. First, it says about this pose. Powerful and precise. Solid square fists. Shoulders supply thrust. So it's got to make the shoulder is coming forward as well, not just the arm. Left foot pushes. Okay, gotcha. Hold on. I gotta stand up and do this. Okay, so the left foot is back and the right leg is, but the left arm is also forward. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. Because it feels kind of awkward. The left foot pushes, but the left foot seems to be off the ground. Hold on. I just, I've only done some basic fighting classes in my life, some taekwondo and kendo. But this feels very awkward. But I guess, okay, so it's coming from the back. Okay, good. I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay, I can do this. It's like a, okay, I get it. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to imitate this where this foot, so it says left foot pushes, and yet it's off the ground, so that must mean that something has already taken place here where the character has pushed off. So it's not that it pushes, it's that it has pushed off the ground to help propel the punch forward. So I'm trying to see what that's like. Okay, I think I got it. I feel like I've done that. There's also some classes I've done that they're like cardio classes, but they use fighting moves to comprise their I don't know what the word is. Like, they're just made up of fighting moves, but it's like a cardio class. So now now that I have felt this, I feel like I can understand it and accept it. Like, in my head, to me, I can't just draw what I see. Like, I have to understand why. Why is it like that? Does that make sense to me? And then when it makes sense, I can draw it. Okay, so it makes sense. It's like it came from behind. Like, when this punch started, this fist was actually guarding this jaw in the front, and this was actually behind, but it's coming from all the way behind. Anyway, I don't know if that makes sense to anybody watching, but it makes sense to me now that I've stood up and thrown a few punches. And then the right steps forward, which I've already felt. So it's almost like a jump. Like, it's not just that it's pushed forward, but he's jumped, like sending the whole body forward. Not just twisting at the hips to send the upper body forward, but that the whole body is behind this punch. Alright. This part's done. Let's look at these other notes. This says, for real impact, draw the punching hand even larger than the character's head. Okay. As the left forearm is being pulled back, it should be drawn to look very short. Yes. Because that's just for shortening this. So see, just like this. You can hardly see anything of my arm. Like this, it becomes a super long, but here it almost disappears. Draw the right leg, which is stepping forward, considerably longer below the knee than above it. Yes, because this is also perspective. Because the leg is like this, but then when you... Oh, I can't show it on the camera. But it's the same idea as here, where just because it's angled up like this, it starts to look shorter. I think I might make it a little thicker, though. It looks like they did that, though. Because thighs are pretty big. It's the quadriceps, so there's 4 pieces to the muscle there. So it's like a really big, powerful muscle. Okay, there's only one note on this page. It says the left and right are not only different sizes. Oh, it must mean left and right fist. They also look quite different. For reference, study the same pose while making it in front of a mirror. Well, I don't have a mirror in here, but I'm going to believe them, what I'm seeing. Especially, okay, I'm going to stand up again. I'm going to stand up and try this again. So we pushed off the back to send the back fist forward. Okay. Got it. I got it. Wasn't able to look in a mirror. I don't have a mirror in here. But that's good enough. Okay, let's start. We're 20 minutes into this hour-long stream. I mean, I don't know if I miraculously get done before an hour. It might be less than an hour stream, but we'll see. Okay, what am I going to start with? Well, it's pretty easy. Start with the light pencil to do the sketch. And, okay, I'm going to bring this on top of here. So I don't need to see these swatches to know what I want to do. Unlike some other things, like watercolor, or when I'm using something that can be manipulated with water or whatever, sometimes I do want to see the swatches. Okay, make sure I'm not too high up on the video there, and then there we go. So I very often make the character too big and then run out of space. So I'm actually just going to do some super basic. So it's a little bit above halfway is where the hips are actually. And then the head and the shoulders. This, and then the arm and the shoulder like that. And then this one is here. And then this fist is taking like all the room. Yeah, it's going like covering up like half of the torso. It's just a square. I'm just going to leave this, well, no, I'll forget what it is. So I'm going to put some lines here just to show what it is. It's the fist. And then here's the thumb coming around, wrapping around the fingers. And then we've got torso. It's still visible around the outside of the fist. And come down around the hips. And then here's this thigh and the knee, and it's attaching to the bottom part of the leg and the ankle and the foot. And then here's this thigh coming way down because it's actually just going straight down. And then you can't even really see the bottom part of the leg, and then the foot. Kind of the same way this fist is gigantic, this foot is teeny tiny. Because of the exaggerated, what is the word? Perspective. There. Nice. Nice. Alright, I don't need to worry too much about the anatomy because we're going to cover it up with the school uniform. So here's the forearm and the bicep and the shoulder. Boom, all three in a row. Going up to the neck. The head actually comes behind a little bit. Behind this big giant fist. And the angle of the face is kind of like that. There we go. Good. And then just this other fist needs to go right here. And you can barely see anything else. So here's the wrist. Okay, and the thumb is coming down, and a finger, and another finger, and another finger, and the fourth finger. It goes up like this for the knuckles. There, nice. Okay, so he's got that crazy Yakuza pompadour hair. It is so interesting because I feel like the pompadour was sort of a 50s punk look in America, but in Japan it seems like it was more like an 80s punk thing. Okay, he's got, again, these really exaggerated, I feel like I never noticed it until now that this shonen manga look gives these male characters really big, wide open eyes with the tiniest little iris and pupil. Like, just like little beep. And then his almost got like a little pug nose. And then his mouth is like an angry triangle. Yeah. An angry triangle. And then for once the ear actually shows, so I'll draw all of these lines and such that go in the ear. And then they've got his hair like he's, you know, he's been fighting for a bit here, so the pompadour is coming apart. Yeah, like this little bit they have coming down like that too. Okay, so we got the top part done, and then let's see, his collar from his school uniform is sticking out a bit, and then the shoulder of it is pretty square. Okay, and then they've just got like these lines showing the swoosh of the fist coming at the viewer, I guess. My big dog Aoife's coming in right now. Hello, Aoife. Good girl. She finally decided that she wanted to be in here. She just laid down. She is curled up in that little bed to my right. Okay, and then this thumb. Lots of lines, not completely made of solid lines, but some of it is lined with hatching in order to get that feeling of movement. So like it's moving so fast it can't be defined with a like one outline. And then perhaps also some of it is showing that he hasn't just been fighting, or like this isn't his first punch, so his hands are kind of torn up too. That's also what I'm imagining is the thought process behind this hand here that I am learning from. Okay, nice. So we've got a big fist. Let's get this little fist. So this is the thumb. And index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. And then, let's see, comes out like that. And then the sleeve, okay, there's the sleeve of his shirt and then the sleeve of his jacket as well. And that's coming down a little bit. It's a little bigger than the sleeve of the shirt. Okay, good. Next is just the school uniform top, which they've got splitting right here after the button, probably because of the movement is so strong that it's making it pull apart at the bottom. That's what I imagine anyway. Okay, and then you can see his belt. Come around like this. Belt buckle. And the belt loops on the pants. Pants coming out. Another little bit of space in between where you can see the undershirt exposed. A space between here and the edge of the pants. Because he's not wearing like super crazy tight pants. It looks like he's wearing his indoor school shoes, so I guess he's getting in a fight in class or in the hallway. Okay, and then here's this leg coming out and forward. There, nice. And there's this shoe, and it's showing that the foot is actually curving up a little bit here. The toes are curving up. It's not completely flat on the ground. It's almost like it's just landed on the ball of the foot. Maybe, or even maybe a little farther down the arch. There. Okay, so far done with this one. I might use it later if it sort of disappears into everything else. But, and it's kind of hard actually because I don't have a, usually go, just go to a pen at this point. If I wasn't doing a lucky dip and I was just doing a drawing with my normal technique, I would do ink next. But instead, I'm going to use this darker one, the 3B, and define more of the lines that way. And hopefully, the lighter pencil will still be visible, ultimately. It's just that I'm going to use the darker pencil to make more definite lines. Or like the final lines, that could be another way to think of it. Oh yeah, I love this crazed, love this crazed look. Those teeny tiny pupils. And like, okay, I see. This long strap of the belt is in one belt loop, not in the other one. Nice. I like the movement that is coming out. I feel like it's getting a sort of... I'm making a decision in my head right now. It's getting the movement. It's getting the movement. It's looking like an active pose, I think. What I was considering, I got distracted within my own train of thought, was... So there's this hard, fairly hard shading here. Really black blocks of ink. Thinking about whether I should fill them in with this and then just make the uniform purple by coloring the purple on top, or make the purple be those shaded parts. Because, I think I'm going to try it. Because purple and yellow are opposites, they're complementary colors. So that means that when you mix them, you get a really nice shadow color between the two. Of course, it works a little different depending on the media, which medium you're using. But since this whole thing is about experimenting, I think that's what I'm gonna see what happens. So I'm gonna color the whole uniform in with the yellow. But I'm not gonna do it too thickly, at least not yet, because you can get to the point with colored pencil where the wax is so thick that even when you try to put down more, the color doesn't really combine the way you might like. So I don't want to do so much that the purple doesn't get a chance to meld and be seen and do something. How are we for time right now? Oh yeah, we've still got plenty of time. I was also thinking that I could do his hair yellow too. So I will. Why not? I can do whatever I want. These lucky dips. It's a fun time to experiment and not worry about whether it's a good piece or not. Like, you don't even have to judge it. Like, did you practice? Yes. Well then, it was successful. There. Okay, first layer done. Now I'm going to imitate the shading that I'm seeing by putting the purple on top to be the shadow color. Yeah, this purple is really leaning toward the red side, so it's not making as much shadow as I expected. It's actually kind of looking orange when it's combining. But I still think it's dark enough that it's having an effect. Like, definitely looks like shading. Actually, it's really cool. I like this result that I'm getting. It's kind of neat. I'm half following the reference image and half just doing what makes sense to me. So I don't want to fill this all the way in because I want to have this fist look like it's blending with the arm behind it because it's moved so fast that you're seeing both at the same time. Yeah, this is kind of cool. This is a kind of cool combo. I'm going to add more yellow to be like a middle color between the two. I like it. This is fun. I love combining colors. I love making colorful stuff. Like, it doesn't matter as much to me how realistic it is, rather I just like how cool it looks. And they don't have any shading in his hair at all. Almost like his hair is just white. But I'm gonna keep this look going and add a little bit of purple to it to give it more dimension. Wow, dang, I love it. It looks great. The combo is so fun. I think for the undershirt, I'm just gonna do a little bit of purple by itself with no yellow. I think that looks different. Different from the purple that is on top of yellow. Okay, and then maybe to let the 3H, the really light colored pencils, show a little bit more, I'm gonna fill in some other areas that don't have color but might still have some shadow. He even got his face all beat up looking. too. So maybe I'll do a little harder looking lines to sort of get that idea across. Same thing here maybe. Yes! So we're almost done. Just need to figure out where we want to use the white. So probably in the eye, that's always a good place. And I'll do the other eye too, even though it's so in shadow. Cool. It makes his eyes stand out quite a bit. Almost like they're glowing. And I'll do a little bit on the teeth too. Like some lights hitting the teeth there. And then maybe some highlights on the face and hands to give them a little more dimension as well. And how about some white lines on it? I've got the graphite doing lines on the hand. We can do a little bit. Let's see, we'll make this belt even wider. And then this shoe. Put some highlight on the toe here. Maybe on the side of this shoe. Yeah, white doesn't work too well usually on colored pencil. White gel pen, I mean. Maybe if I do something like a bunch of lines. Yeah, it looks like something. I'll try to do a little highlight on the button. How about we'll try to bring some white into this flying fist here, too. It doesn't show up too much on the blue paper, but it shows up pretty well on the graphite stuff. Yeah, I think that's good. We're almost at 50-minute stream, so that's probably enough. So let's do a little close-up view. Oh, the light really shines on it. I'll have to show you at an angle because the light shines on the graphite so much it looks different. But here's how the colors combined. I think it looks really nice. It's almost orange, and yet it's still purple. It's still kind of got a cool tone, and the blue paper helps as well. And then, yeah, I wish I didn't have to do this at an angle for you, but oh, there he is. I've got the white in there, and all the stuff, and that dark pencil, the 3B is so bold it almost looks like ink with everything else. Oh yeah, he looks shiny even there. It's because of the graphite is shiny since it's a mineral. Oh, that's interesting. All right, well, that is all for today's Lucky Dip. It was Lucky Dip number 30, by the way. That's pretty exciting. 30 of these. Only the first few were not live streamed. Most of them have been live streamed. I will be back on Friday for Chibi Friday. I believe I finished my Chibi Sora, so I'm going to start Chibi Kumo, who is my other pet pigeon. So I'm pretty excited about that because Sora is already pretty cute just because she's a bird, but Kumo is very cute, so it's going to be it feels like a challenge to how can I make him cuter? How can I make him cuter than real life? So we'll see how that goes on Friday. But that's all for today. Thank you for watching.